Toy checking in on this beautiful Tuesday, if you will. And as promised, I told you guys that I will definitely be on so I can do more lives to help you with your mind, mood, and your money. So, on today, I'm about to talk about something that is very um, needed right now, if you will. And I try to make sure I give you guys real tangible results, examples, tips, and things of that nature to make sure when you leave my live, you'll have something real world that you can take with you so I can help you personal or business develop, right? Gatekeeping information is not something that I do. But today is needed because with all the things that are going on, there are a lot of people that are unemployed. There are a lot of people who are competing, if you will, with individuals who have way more experience than they do. They have way more connections than they do. They have way more knowledge than they do. So we have to do whatever we can to compete, if you will, in this thing called life to make sure our livelihoods are protected. So before I go any further, I just want to say if you are new to the room, hi, welcome on in. My name is Coach Toy Jefferson, the Educational Director of ICC Life Coach Institute, where we certify life coaches and have a 100% pass rate of the ACC credential, as well as business coaching. So now that I paid the bills, I'm gonna go ahead and help you with what I know is needed on this day. So, can y'all remember when you had your first job interview, like what that was like? Nobody really teaches the young people where it would stick in such a way when we go into these job interviews to be competitive. I know they talk a lot about how to dress, but do they really talk a lot about mindset? Do they really talk a lot about a strategy so you can actually land the job that you want to get? Now, given everything isn't for you, sometimes it's just for practice. Now, the reason why this conversation came up today, if you will, y'all know I'm a true story, y'all to death, is because I was speaking with a young lady and we were talking about the job interview. Now, mind you, the job interview that she had was on last week. So, listening to her talk about how it went and some of the answers that she gave led me to this live on today. So, many of you know, and some of you may not know, that I used to be a business development center manager at a very prominent car dealership way before I became Coach Toy, way before I worked for some of the largest biopharmaceutical and medical device sales companies in the world, way before all of that, way before me even knowing what I wanted to do, way before pharmacy school, all of that, right? So, when I was in training for management, there are certain things that they taught us. The average person do not know what those things are, right? So while speaking to this particular young lady and trying to get her to understand that the first thing is when you go in to the job interview, you cannot go in as yourself. You just cannot. I mean, you can go in with confidence. You can go in knowing that you are a good fit for the position. You can go in with all of that. But if you are somebody that cusses or somebody who has this ghetto mentality, you cannot go in that way. So as we were having the conversation, I'm listening and I'm looking and I'm observing. Now I'm looking from a manager lens because, like I said, I own a global institution where I interview people for different positions within my company as well. And the way that you present yourself is how I am going to judge you, if you will. Let's call a spade what it is. So when I was talking to this young lady, she said, well, when I went into the interview and they asked me why I left the company, I was shocked at the reason she gave them why she left. Now, I'm going to get into some tips in just a minute because somebody need to hear this. because we are missing great opportunities because we just don't know. The game is to be sold, not told, right? They say, but I'm here to tell you the game. So when you go into that job interview, you can sell them so you can win the game in the end. Now, when you get the job and you get comfortable, right, you can then let your hair down just a little bit, but not too much because you want to keep it. So I can remember when I first started interviewing, and oh my God, I just wanted them to know all about me. You know, I have this, I do that, I have this amount of kids, I, help out with the community. And I was saying all of these things, and it had absolutely nothing to do with the job. When you are going on these interviews and they ask you, tell me about you, I want you to first know that is a trap. Don't tell them your personal business. You have to keep that thing professional. You have to figure out, who are you? What is your title? How many years of experience do you have in the industry? What do you specialize in that relates to the job that you are going for? What are the things that you are passionate about and why? That relates to the job you are interviewing for? What are you excited about that relates to the opportunity that's presented in front of you? So you got to figure out what is that thing that's going to make them say yes to you. The people don't care that you love pets. They don't care how many kids you have. They don't care about the community. If it's not a nonprofit community role, if you will, make sure when you do go into those job interviews, everybody should have a 60-second sales pitch about yourself, no more than 2 minutes, that talks about your title, years of experience in the industry specific to the job you're interviewing for, what you specialize in, your key skills or the impact you've made in the industry, what you are passionate about and why, and then talk about why you're excited about the opportunity that's in front of you. That's number one. And I think we don't talk enough about how do we truly help these babies and these grown folks stand out. Now, I was talking to one of the managers, and we were kind of discussing like the type of candidates that came in. Now, this was back in the day. And one of the things that managers and job interviewers, whoever it is, whether it's the manager, the VP, the financial person, it doesn't matter. The first thing they do and smell and see is you. So you got to come in there smelling natural. Don't put on too much cologne or perfume, because if I got to open my door when you leave, that's not a good sign. And if I got to spray behind you when you leave, that's not a good sign. So make sure the body odors are together. Number two, hairstyles. Make sure your hair is groomed, cut, and in an actual hairstyle. Don't come in there looking like you just got out of bed. It's not going to work. You have to show up looking like you are ready to work on that day. Number three, the outfit that you wear should be professional. I don't care if you are going to work for McDonald's. You need to make sure you have on professional attire, because what that does is it helps you stand out from the rest, specifically if you're not going for a corporate job. Everybody know what the corporate jobs are. So if you're somebody that's in a 5-figure bracket, 80, 70, 50,000, 40, whatever that is, you still got to come in there looking like you are interviewing for a 6-figure position. The reason for that is because we first see you, we smell you, we sense your energy. And speaking of energy, y'all bring the energy to the interview. People want to see your excitement. It's like you don't want to, it's like you're dating. You don't want to go on a date and then it's boring or it's dull or it's off. It's the same thing when you're interviewing. Bring the energy, not just the answers. You see, energy is contagious. So you need to smile, sit up straight, speak with passion. People hire people who they believe can elevate their team. You see, when you visualize the interview going in well before you go in thinking about it, that activates the brain as if it's already happened and it has already been done. So now when you go in, it's almost like you doing what you need to do to stand up and to stand out. That's a thing, right? The third thing, listen out, know your value and your worth. You don't have to shrink you. Talk about your big you. Like you are the solution to the problem, whatever it is in their company that they're trying to solve. When you go in, that's the language that you speak, right? You got to shift your mindset. You're not begging to find a job, but what you're doing is offering value. Be confident and not arrogant. Some people go in too arrogant. Let's not do that. Humble it on down. And if you practice your answers, I promise you, it will bring you to a sense of awareness that will have you unbeatable with the next candidate that comes behind you. Now, before you go into that interview, write down y'all 5 different reasons on why you are a good fit for the company. And if you forget 3 of them and you got 2, you still winning. Because I guarantee you, most people do not do that. When you do it, y'all say it out loud and in the mirror, repeat it so it can come right off, spit it off. Because the thing is, once you start showing them that you have interest in them and in their company, you put yourself way above the rest. Now, I'm going to pause for 2 seconds. When I first got into my industry, if you know me personally, you know what industry I'm in outside of coaching. I don't talk about that publicly because it ain't y'all business. But the thing is, I can remember reaching out to over 500 people on LinkedIn until one person told me yes. And believe it or not, that one yes took me from 40,000 to 120,000 plus bonuses in 3 months. Now, during that time, it was a lot of things that I did not know. I was very green. So when I started reaching out to people, one of the people that I reached out to, and I appreciate him, is 2 actually. One person name was Brian. Brian really taught me how to properly write my resume to speak to the sales industry. Now, what happens is they're looking for certain things in each industry that you are in. You have to research and know those keywords. Reach out to people on LinkedIn that's in the industry that you want to be in. Therefore, if you can kind of have an inside scoop so you can speak their lingo and not only speak it, add it to your resume so that you can be picked up. Because now, y'all, the AI is doing the resume picking, if you will. If there are certain keywords not in your resume, I'm telling you, you will not get picked. Before any human see you, it goes through and it looks for certain words and a certain amount of words, if you will, that lets them know if you can even get to the recruiter role. So if you're getting messages where or nothing at all when you filled out for applications, more than likely it was because AI didn't pick it up. So I had a human that was gracious enough to show me the way on what I need to do and how I should do my resume. He literally read through my resume, and I had to change the things to make it fit. So get you somebody that can help you with your resume. But there's someone else on my timeline or friends list that I love dearly and had truly taught me the secret sauce to landing professional, top-notch, 6-figure job interview strategy. If you have not heard of this, I need you to write this down. I don't care if you don't remember anything else I say in this live. I want you to learn how to use the STAR method to tell your story. You see, when you're being interviewed, these people are looking for a good story with a purpose, and the STAR method will help you use the framework to make you memorize your answers, right, and be impactful. So now that you practice it, guess what? You can spit it off when it comes up. Typically, job interviewers, they have, name a time when you had a conflict. They're going to ask about you. They're going to ask, how many years of experience do you have? They're going to ask questions related to the job, task, if you will. So you got to be ready for that. Now, the STAR method is the situation, task, action, result. Now, what I typically do after result when formulating and answering the questions in my mind, I put on the end of it, this is what I learned, and this is how you would benefit from my experience at your company. It goes a little something like this. In my last role, tell whatever situation that you were in, right? In my last role, I sold donuts. I don't care, right? And then task. What was the goal or challenge? We were behind on a major project in terms of getting 100,000 donuts out in 24 hours, right? Action. What did you do? I created a new workflow or system and led daily check ins to ensure that every employee were hands on deck so that those 100,000 donuts could be made, done, and ready to go out the door in 24 hours. And what was the result? What changed because of your actions? What changed was we were able to deliver those donuts within 24 hours and actually ended up going in 20 hours, and we landed a contract with that particular company that monthly now we are the preferred donut company that they use for their company. And then you swing it back on the job. And what that taught me was how to properly lead projects to get things done efficiently and effectively. And those are the skills that you will have that will be displayed from me as an employee at your company. You see how I just did that? You got to figure out how you swing that thing back around. Remember this, I'm telling y'all, STAR, STAR, situation, task, action, results, and then turn that thing around. How is that going to help the company that you are interviewing for, as well as the benefits of it? So it's kind of like, why you? So another thing I just wanted to bring up, y'all, make sure you ask questions like a leader. When you go into the interview, they're not just interviewing you. The interview, it goes both ways. So you have to ask questions that show you care about growth, culture, impact, and things of that nature. So a few examples of that is, what does success look like in this role after 6 months? You can ask them, how do you celebrate your team wins? That's important because I want to know, if I'm doing all this work for you, so on and so forth, like, how you going to celebrate me, right? What motivates you as a manager? I want to know that. How do you motivate your team? I want to know, what are the biggest challenges that someone in this role will face? I need to know that. And another tidbit, when you start the interviewing process off the wham, the first thing to ask is, what are you looking for? What are the characteristics and skills are you looking for to fill this particular position? The reason why you want to ask that up front is so now you can shape the interview in such a way to now you know how to answer your questions. So if they're telling you what they're looking for, if they're telling you what a perfect candidate would look like, what ends up happening is now you can formulate using the STAR method so that you can speak their language. It's like seeing Jim Jones through Jim Jones' eyes, like Daddy used to say, and then you sell Jim Jones what Jim Jones buys. Now, a pro tip would be, make sure you have a why me presentation. In the why me presentation, you're going to give 5 reasons why you are a good fit for the company. If you're anything like me, I'm digital. I always create a PowerPoint presentation that not only talks about me, but it talks about my experience. It talks about the role at their company. It highlights how I would be a great fit. And then I put a story together based off of that. And I always ask at the end, I'm ready. Are you? They chuckle every time I've asked that question, but it was a real question because I want to see whether or not I'm going to be a good fit. So if they say, well, no, we're still thinking about it, or we have other candidates, so that let me know that I ain't got the job yet. So when they say that, the next question would be, well, is there anything I need to clarify you to ensure you that I am clarify for you to ensure that I'm a good fit for this role? That gives you an opportunity to clear up any doubt. Because you want to, when you leave that interview, you should never leave not knowing if you got the job. I have never left an interview since I learned this strategy not knowing if I had the job. It behooves me, and it's interesting to know that people go to job interviews and they don't know if they have the job. I mean, I literally ask, am I the candidate, in your opinion, for this position? Is there anything that I need to clarify for you? Have you heard anything from me that will make me not a good fit for this position? What that does is they have to answer the question, especially that last one. Is it anything that I've said to you that make me not a good fit for this position? If all is well and they say no, everything is good. So my next question is, so what are the next steps in the process? And will you recommend me to move forward? The will you recommend me to move forward is if you have another person you have to interview with. But if you're not interviewing with anybody else, you ask, will you hire me for the position? Period. We got to be bold. We got to put it on out there, because at the end of the day, if the goal is to get the position and it's supposed to be yours, don't miss it because you did not properly prepare. Another thing, you need to know what you're getting paid. I love when they ask me this question right here. What salary expectation are you expecting? My answer is always, I am confident that you will properly compensate me for my skills and my talent, and give me the proper compensation if you feel that I am the right fit for this position. I never give a number. I never do. I put it back on them. And I did that one time. And Lord knows, when I went in there and after telling them a number and I asked the recruiter, y'all, what the range was for the job, I was at the bottom of the pay scale. I just didn't know no better. So don't let that be you. Don't talk yourself out of what you could potentially be making. They literally, and I'm going to be transparent. So the bottom salary was 150 base. Okay. It went all the way to $210,000 a year base. But because I thought I was doing something, saying 150, that was the bottom. And guess what they gave me? 152. I was so mad when I asked, okay, well, what's the salary range for the position? I started asking based off of the experience, my experience, what's the salary range for somebody that has 10 years of experience, won several president's clubs, been in management, so on and so forth. So don't talk yourself out of your money. And the last thing is follow up, y'all. Make sure y'all got some thank you notes in the email ready to go. That's specific to the interview that you had and to the persons that interviewed you. And I mean every single interview. What that means is you need to get everybody's email address before you leave. So make sure you send that thank you email within 24 hours. Make sure it's specific to the interview that you had. Restate your interest as well as your skills. Make sure you think of the follow-up as the final impression, not an obligation, but an opportunity for you. So you're not just interviewing for the job, you're stepping into your new next level, right? Now go ahead and do what you need to do to make sure that you properly prepare for that interview. And I'm going to run it down. Number one, make sure that you know your value and don't shrink yourself. At the end of the day, you ain't begging, you doing what you need to do with confidence and not arrogant, right? So make sure you write those things out to ensure that you practice it and it comes off the tongue like butter. Number two, remember the STAR method. When you do the STAR method, situation, task, action, and result, remember to put that spin on the end. This is what I learned, and this is how it would benefit your company. Number three, do not run into the trap of tell me about yourself. Them people don't care nothing about your personal life. Make sure you keep it professional, okay? Practice your title, years of experience in the industry, what you specialize in, your key skills and impact, what you are passionate about and why you're excited about the opportunity that's coming up before you. Number 4, bring the energy, y'all, just not answers. Remember, they meet you and your energy and personality, not only your physical energy, but make sure them clothes on point, your odor on point, your hair on point, your nails on point. Make sure all of that's on point. All of that draws energy. Number 5, make sure you ask questions like a leader. It is a dialogue, not a monologue. So make sure that you are asking them questions as well because you're interviewing them too. That also shows that you care about the growth, impact, and culture. And last but not least, follow up with excellence. Don't skip this. Make sure you send that email within 24 hours. And on that note, this is my live today to help you with your mind, mood, and money as it relates to job interviewing. For more tips, I'm going to drop my link tree below and then sign up for the newsletter. I have different emails that go out monthly that give you different tips on different things, again, for your mind, mood, or money. If you have not already signed up for the Prompt to Profit website, please make sure you do so ASAP. We got 3 more days before you guys the discount is over. But the cool thing is, ladies and gentlemen, the cool thing is, what I love about that is you can save you a lot of money, because I'm so sick of people trying to price gouge, and I'm so sick of people trying to overcharge because it's a skill they think you don't know. Let me tell y'all, I am not lying when I say this. When that lady told me $1,000 a month for me to do what I did in an hour, and I had already had my apps and stuff ready to roll, that lady lost her damn mind. I'm gonna pay somebody $1,000 to do something that took me an hour. Do you know how stupid I would have felt if I had known that it was that easy? But y'all, I'm telling y'all, it's super easy. Like literally, newsletter for the year, done. Business strategy, done. I'm talking about literally in minutes. So here is the thing. Erica Richards, she said, is there anything different that needs to be done if the interview is recorded? No, Erica, you need to do the same thing if the interview is recorded because, of course, they can't smell you. That's the only thing. You might not take a bath, but everything else needs to be on point. You got to practice. And I encourage any of you, if you are somebody that's in the process of interviewing, please, pretty please, make sure that you use that STAR method and look and different examples that you've experienced. So the interviewers typically ask the same question. Master that so it can become quick and easy. Okay, and then Brittany said, please leave this up. I will leave it up. As a matter of fact, this is a live, and Facebook, they take it down, so it'll be on my YouTube channel, if you will. Brittany said, I'm thinking we needed to see this, LOL. I get nervous and overshare. Oh my God, let me tell y'all something about oversharing. When you overshare, you leave the people exhausted. The people feel like you done told them way too much. And what they came for was to learn about you so they can put somebody in the position. What I mean by that is if I am hiring you for a marketing role for ICC Life Coach Institute, I don't care that you skateboard. I don't care that you have 4 kittens. I don't care that you eat hot dogs on the weekend only because you fasting. I don't care. The reason why this is important is because once you realize you are handling business and it ain't personal, everything else becomes gravy. Now, I might be interested in some of that if you are someone who I might want to know after you get the job. But if you ain't got the job, I don't care because the goal is to talk about the things that they need to know for you to get the job. Get the job. Y'all doing way too much, and how many times have you spoken with an interviewer and they were personal with you about your things that happen in their life? Again, the people don't care. So on that note, hope to see you guys at Prompt to Profit on June 21st. 12 to 3 Central Standard Time at Pyro's Pizza and or online. The discount is going to last a couple of more days. I'm going to teach you how to use AI, y'all, to build that business and even get through this interviewing stuff. Like, I can help you with that too. I'm going to show you how to master it quick and easy. You ain't got to pay nobody. I'm going to show you how to properly use it. You can use it, but I'm going to show you how to properly use both tools to get the best results. On that note, I hope you guys have a fantastic day. Coach Toy is signing off. I look forward to seeing you guys. I'm trying to go live more consistently. I'll probably come back Thursday, but we'll see. At least once a week, I will be in y'all faces teaching and preaching. So remember, on this day, stay fantastic and fabulous, and not to let anything, remember our motto, I can't let anything control my mind, mood, or money. I'm signing off. All right. Oh, child, what a day. This is so cool. Now I got to get to StreamYard, y'all. I ain't tech savvy at all, but I'm going to find it in 2 seconds. Is it right here? It's not right here. Oh, I get. Where is this? Okay. StreamYard. Nope, that's not it. Y'all got any questions? Any questions? It's in Chrome. Amazon. Any questions? Yeah. Hold on. Trying to see if y'all got any questions before I jump off of here. Let me go back here. This little thing is weird. Trying to answer y'all questions before I get off. Let me check it one more time. There. Let's go to my main page. I'll make sure. I always tell them about my small business. Brittany, you talking too much. Brittany, don't tell them about your business because what that does to them is that means that you don't have time for theirs. Don't tell them about your small business. It ain't their business. Do you think I went into my interview saying I own a global institution with graduates in 9 countries and 31 states, or I teach people how to build their businesses, or I coach the culture of corporations? No, ma'am. Too much information. You only need to talk about experience that's related to the job you are interviewing for. That's it. I mean, don't give them nothing else. That's it. That's all. Somebody said, now I can't wait to do my interview tomorrow. I'm letting y'all know I got it. I know that's right, Erica. Right on time, baby. I said I was going to be going, and I'm still out here playing with y'all. Let me get my life in order. Let me get it on in order. All right. Let me get off of here. All right, y'all. I'll answer y'all questions in the comments. But I'm going to get up off of this here live. But I want to make sure I'm not missing anything. Okay. In the stream.